If I asked you what the most common fitness goals were, what would you say? To gain muscle? To lose fat? The truth is we all want to be leaner and more muscular. Even if you say you just want to tone, that's building muscle and losing fat. So in that case, if I asked you what the worst scenario to be in is, what would you say? To be skinny and to be fat at the same time. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what does skinny fat mean? How can you be skinny and fat at the same time? Well, let me break it down for you. If you've got a very, very small amount of muscle mass, there's still a considerable amount of body fat, you can probably consider yourself skinny fat. If that sounds like you, then stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to be telling you exactly how to fix it for your particular scenario. So a couple months ago when I started up my YouTube channel again, I made a video on why you should bulk. In it, I said if you don't have as much muscle as you ultimately want, then you should do a bulk at some point to put that muscle on. Now I did say if you have a considerable amount of body fat already, then you should cut first before you bulk. But a lot of the comments I got on that video were based on what should I do if I'm skinny fat, if I have not a lot of muscle, a considerable amount of body fat. First of all, you're going to have to identify what kind of skinny fat you are, because there are different kinds, and it's going to tell you what you should do about it. Now I'm going to give an example of me when I started lifting at 17 years old. You might look at this and say that's skinny fat, not a lot of muscle, a little bit of belly fat, no visible abs, etc. But really here, I'm just skinny. Yeah, I might have a higher percentage of body fat than I want to see the muscle definition, but ultimately there's no muscle there in the first place, so I have to build it. So ask yourself, are you skinny fat or are you just skinny? Yeah, you might not have visible abs, you might not be able to see your veins in your arms, but if you can't grab hold of some belly fat, some love handles, some back fat, etc., then chances are you're just skinny, you're going to have to do a bulk, in which case, go back and watch my video on why you should bulk. Secondly, are you just fat? If you're holding on to a lot of body fat, say 30% and up, chances are there's some muscle underneath. You just can't see it because it's blurred by the excess body fat. In any case, your body fat's too high and you should do a cut here. Now, if neither of these are you, then you're probably skinny fat. But I'm going to give you two different scenarios here. Scenario one, you're skinny fat and you've never trained before. Or you haven't trained in a long time, or you've trained with poor consistency, poor technique, etc. The first thing you're going to have to do is start a training routine and make it consistent. Now I'm talking about resistance training here. You want to build the muscle and raise the metabolism to burn the fat. Now ideally you want to do a full body or an upper lower type split so you can really practice those key movements with a lot of consistency. If you're doing a full body split, you can train every body part 4 times a week. If you're doing an upper lower split, you can train every body part 3 times a week. And in the early days, the more often you do these things, the faster you'll grow because you don't need that much volume per body part. You can do a couple of exercises for each body part and still grow. So the more often you can do that, the faster you'll get the results. Now you're really going to want to concentrate on having good form and progressively overloading over time while keeping that form. So adding weight to the bar, maybe adding some reps, maybe adding some sets here and there, but making sure that form doesn't change. So that's the most important thing. If you're skinny fat and you haven't trained before, stop questioning what to do. The first thing you should do is train because you have no idea what kind of impact it'll have on your body. The training itself will create such a demand and a novel stimulus that your body will need to use calories to repair your muscle. And that won't just come from your diet, that will come from the excess body fat that you have stored as well. Now in terms of diet in this scenario, what should you do? I think you should eat maintenance calories. So eating enough calories each day just to maintain your body weight. So it's not going up and it's not going down. Now you can use an online calorie calculator for this, but ultimately that's just going to be a little bit of a guess because all of our metabolisms are different, all of our energy expenditure is different. If you weigh yourself often, at least once or twice a week, you'll be able to see the trend and know what to do. So if you're losing weight, you can add some calories. If you're gaining weight, you can lower some calories. Now, once you have your calorie target, you're going to want to set a protein target as well. So you want to make sure you're taking in at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you weigh. This will ensure that you're recovering adequately from the sessions and you're actually building muscle. It'll also help keep you satiated, so fuller for longer, and protein also has a higher thermic effect of food than carbohydrates and fats do, meaning it takes more calories just to process that protein than it does to process carbohydrates and fats. Now, day 1 of starting this, what I want you to do is take progress pictures, 1 from the front, 1 from the side, 1 from the back. It's really easy to do. Just set up your phone on a windowsill or a counter or wherever, I don't care. Set a video, record yourself getting into those 3 positions, get a screenshot on the video of each 3, and those are your first set of progress pictures. I don't care if you don't want to take them, I don't care if you don't want to look at them. In 6 months' time, those will be your favourite pictures to show people because you'll go, look what I used to look like, look how good I look now. Now I want you to do this for 4 weeks without changing a thing. Train hard, stick to the calories, stick to the protein, see what happens, take progress pictures every single week. After week 4, compare the first one and the last one, and then you can assess where you're at. Have you lost some of the body fat? Have you built some of the muscle? And then you can decide where you want to go from there. Do you want to cut down further if you haven't lost enough, or do you want to bulk up? But do those 4 weeks first, don't change a thing, just trust the process and you will get results. Now moving on to scenario 2, what should you do if you are training, if you are dieting, but you're still skinny fat. Now from here, you're gonna have to take a step back, reassess things, because there's something going wrong somewhere. Number one importance, go back to the training, make sure your form is on point, make sure you're training intensely. Make sure you're not just burning yourself out with fluff exercises. Do those key lifts, do the exercises that really matter. And more is not always better. If you're doing 4 exercises, 5 sets an exercise, that might be way too much. If you're doing a body part split or a push-pull leg split, then go back to an upper lower or even a full body split. Get the most out of that first. Now you're also going to need to fix your diet, so going back to that 1 gram of protein per pound body weight rule if you're not doing that already. Now you're also going to want to be tracking your calories, but I want you to be in a slight calorie deficit for this because you don't have the advantage of being a noob. Like I said, if you're new to the gym, if you're new to training, it's going to be more of a novel stimulus. Your body's going to be demanding those calories and making changes fast. If you've already been training for a while, if you're training now, that's going to slow down quite a lot. In that case, you don't want to jump into a bulk if you've already got a lot of excess body fat because you're just going to be gaining more and more fat, and that's going to have to come off at some point. So your best bet is to do a cut now, get rid of that, and then you can bulk up after. So again, grab a calorie calculator, figure out your calories for the day, and then take 200 to 300 calories away from your maintenance. Then 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, and take the rest of your calories from carbohydrates and fats again. And like I said before, take those progress pictures, run for 4 weeks and see what happens. If you need to make little adjustments along the way, then do it. If you're not losing weight, then you might have to drop a little bit more. If you're gaining weight, you definitely have to drop more. But ultimately, people just don't give these things enough time. This all takes time. Building muscle takes ages, years. If it's something you really want to do, you have to commit to that. Stop expecting instant results. It's not going to happen. Now, the only training we've talked about is resistance training, and a hot topic is how much cardio should I be doing? Should I be doing cardio? Should I be doing list cardio? Should I be doing HIIT cardio? And the thing is, when you want your body to look a certain way, when you want to be muscular, resistance training is always going to be key. Now, I'm not going to tell you not to do cardio because cardio is always going to be beneficial, obviously for your heart, for your overall health, for your fitness. But I would suggest if you are going to do cardio, make it HIIT cardio. Do high intensity interval sessions at the end of your resistance training workouts. And ideally, do them with weights, do them with body weight exercises so you're still working your muscle at the same time. Now be aware that's probably going to increase your metabolic rate a little bit and obviously burn a few more calories. So if you are on that maintenance diet, you might want to bump up your calories to make sure that you're still maintaining your weight after you have the HIIT cardio. And if you add in this, your scenario 2, where you want to lose some body fat first, it might be a good way to not drop as many calories out of your diet so you're still burning more overall. As long as you're on that consistent resistance training, then you're going to get results. Now if you're still a bit confused by this, you don't know what to do, you don't know what category you fall into, then what I want you to do is DM me on Instagram at @the_muscle architect. Send me those initial progress pictures and I'll help you decide which way to go and give you some advice on what to do. Now this is my thing, this is what I do. I coach people, I help guys and girls get in incredible shape. So if you do need help and you really want to skyrocket your progress, hit the ground running, get the best results possible in the least amount of time, then you can hire me as a coach. Go to www.themusclearchitect.com, fill out the consultation form, book in a consultation call with me, and we'll go from there. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.